You don't see like Mick Jagger or Bruce Springsteen or David Bowie making their careers as being desperate, pathetic creatures, constantly searching for love and reassurance. So why do women have to go around constantly like beating their breasts in because they're scared and lonely in a big man's world?
Someone asked me if I had been a man, do I think that I would have been successful earlier? And my answer was, if I had been a white woman, I think I might have, because there are barriers.
One thing that stands out in my mind was looking for a record deal and getting an answer, we already have our female, you know, our one girl. I mean, that certainly changed.
I think the music of the 50s and the 60s, the rock and roll, as we knew it and as it first started, was a fun type, very spontaneous type of thing.
I want you to know, I said I want you to know right now, you've been good to me, baby, better than I've been to myself, yeah, yeah, and if you ever leave me, I don't want nobody else, yeah, yeah, because I want you to know, no, I said I want you to know right now, you know you make me wanna shout, woo, shout, woo, shout, woo, shout, woo, shout. All right, take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. All right, hey, 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 hey.
called the Blossoms. We were doing all the background for anybody and everybody that could hold a tune back in the 60s. When I met Phil Spector, and he made me a part of the girl group sound, because I was like 3 or 4 different groups at one time. I became the Crystals, the Bobby Sox, and the Blue Jeans. And it was like a sound that he wanted, the girl group sound. So he wasn't really interested at that time in building Darlene Love. I guess he didn't feel that people would pay any attention to the lead female artist.
You gonna keep that other part the same?
Yeah, woo-woo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
So far away, doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? It would be so fine to see your face at my door. Doesn't help to know you're just time away. Long ago I reached for you and there you stood. Holding you again could only do me good. How I wish I could, but you're so far away.
There was Carole King on the East Coast, and a couple of other ladies, and that was, you know, it had not begun, the Laura Neros, the Joni Mitchells, being able to stand up and do your own material and have your own publishing company and sort of be your own person. That just wasn't done. And if you tried to attempt it, you know, you were sort of labeled difficult to work with. And they didn't trust my instincts at all, because, you know, how could I possibly know anything? I'm just a girl, I have blonde hair, I probably can hardly walk and chew gum at the same time.
Fine to see your face at my door. Doesn't help to know you're so far away. Yeah, you're so far away.
People like Wanda Jackson and myself, and Big Mama Thornton, and even Mahalia Jackson, Bessie Smith, Odetta, Clara Ward, people like, we were singing in a way that was different. It was a shock to see women singing guttural and, you know, really feeling these songs instead of standing up there doing what was expected. Aretha Franklin was always one of my very favorites, still is. What I like about Aretha is her honesty and how and what she sings.
I think every white singer that sings any kind of soul music at all owes a huge debt to black music. She's remarkable. I saw her one year. It changed my life.
When I first heard Creedence Clearwater, singing that song. Oh, it just took over me. Why does the guys like what I do? Why does all the girls want to take off their gorgeous dresses and kick and get high and let their hair down? They want to get wild. Why? Why? Because they've been suppressing something and I didn't. I yelled out, I kicked, I jumped, I did what inspired me. They stuck to the rules. I consider myself attractive. I'm well kept. So that's the first thing that's going to get attention. That's the first step of being sexy, is to be attractive. And then being in shape these days has a lot to do with it. In the later days, in the Marilyn Monroe days, she was much, much heavier than the women of today, and she was considered a sexy woman. But again, she was in shape. And then it had a lot to do with Marilyn's personality. I don't have her personality, I don't have her body, but yet I'm a sex symbol. So I think you're also looking at different forms of sex.
I had a very long conversation with Tina when she used to work in Las Vegas. She would actually admit to herself she just didn't think that she could go on stage without Ike. You know, and I would say, you gotta be out of your mind. You're out there, you know. I mean, he's standing over here, I know, playing the guitar and giving you your inspiration or whatever it is that you need.
I think he was jealous of the position that I held. Meaning, he put me in the position, there was no choice, but it was a position that had often happened with Ike because he wasn't a singer or performer. I knew that I was in a bad position there. It just took me 14 years to make up my mind to make the step to really get out of there.
When Sonny and I got together, he was 28 and I was 16. I thought he was the tower, the pillar of strength and maturity and intelligence. Sonny didn't want to really sing, but I would just not go out on the stage without him. He was going to just do the background parts and stuff like that, and I was going to go out and sing. He was going to write and I was going to sing. But I couldn't even go to the piano and do the songs.
So many people ask me about my dad. I'm 30 years old and I get asked about my parents all the time. And I came across a verse I'd written years ago. And I saw it, I said, oh, I really don't want to deal with this. I just don't want to write this song. But I was drawn back to it a few days later. I said, oh, I'm just going to get it out of my system and be done with it. Here's the last answer I want to give about him.
Crying tonight, 'cause it all happened so fast. frightened by the future, embarrassed by the past. So let him be who he wants to be, 'cause he ain't never gonna be young again. Let him see who he needs to see, 'cause he never had too many friends. And ask him how he remembers me, 'cause I want to know where I stand. How I love my old man.
I think that our generation of women is the first that's taken control, that's known that all the options were open, and that we didn't have to just single-mindedly go down a path that ultimately led to destroying ourselves.
Well, here you're going to see, and I want you to love you. I want to love you for so long. Oh, yeah. Oh, honey, it ain't fair. Honey, it ain't fair. What do you do? I said, honey, what you doing to me? No, no, no. And no, say, oh, honey, it ain't fair. Oh, baby, it ain't fair. What do you do? I got it, no, no. I got it, no, no.
Did your parents encourage you to sing at all?
Oh, no, no, no. They wanted me to be a school teacher, you know, like all parents. But I just started singing when I was about 17. I listened to a lot of music first, and one day I started singing, and I could sing. It was like, it was a surprise, to say the least.
Summertime, child, you're living easy. Fish are jumping out. Hey, the kind of Lord, cotton is high. Lord, so high. Your tower's rich, and your mom, I think she's mighty good looking, babe. Oh, she's looking pretty fine to me now. Yeah. Hush, baby, 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 baby. No, 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 don't you cry.
Like, I've always felt that way about the blues. When I didn't know nothing about it, when I listened to it, I always felt that there was something, an honesty there. Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, now they are so subtle. They could milk you with two notes.
The most influential women performers for me personally have been Janis Joplin. The way she had of just sort of emoting on stage in such a way that was like, it was almost like you felt like you were barging in on some personal experience she was having.
But each time I tell myself that I can't stand the pain, but when you hold me in your arms, I sing it once again. I say, come on, come on, come on, come on, and take it. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby.
You just feel yourself. Yeah. It's just like when you're making love with someone, you know, how you're completely, supremely with that moment. Like, that's all that's happening.
You got it, if it makes you feel good, yes indeed.
Janis didn't, you know, do steps or anything, but she had a fabulous way of using her body that was very original.
very much her own. I loved her.
I don't know what Janis Joplin's underlying psychology was composed of. I think that she probably felt really ugly as a kid, real outcast, like I did, like most women feel, and really wanted to like feel it really deep. But it doesn't feel like anything, recognition and adoring fans. But people worshiping you, to me, it's never been a real feeling. And maybe she was looking for something that wasn't ever going to be there. She unfortunately died before she could tell what it was like to be around that and be her.
Well, you know you got it. None of it makes you feel good. Feel good now.
One pill makes you larger.
Everybody heard about how marvelous San Francisco was and Haight-Ashbury and all that kind of stuff. So 8 million people come out and try to live, you know, all piled on top of each other. The idea of flower children and peace and love and everything is I imagine in some communities, in some groups of hippies, they're working on it, you know, and trying to get that kind of thing together.
Chasing rabbits, and you know you're going to fall. Tell 'em a hookah, a smoking caterpillar has given you the call. He called Alice when she was just small.
There was rhythm and blues, but not really rock and roll, and not that strange style of dressing and so forth that we were doing at the time. We weren't thinking of getting into business. We were doing it for each other.
Are not dead for me in terms of what people were trying to do. It was a time of peace, love, and flowers, and hippies and stuff, and time does move on, and there are a lot of things to try to integrate the best of those beliefs with what's happening today.
My first husband, John Doe, and I met at a workshop where we were both writers, and he was already starting this band with Billy Zoom, and that's when I first decided that music would be the most intelligent way to get the stuff I was writing across to people, because poetry was just very dead. See, I don't see myself as a female performer like a solo artist. I see myself as a member of a band. I like Patti Smith a lot. She's a really great woman. She's a good writer. When Horses came out, it's like 1975, it really changed everything.
Redondo Beach is a beach where women la bada, women. Late afternoon, dreaming hotel, just at the quarrel, sent you away. I was a little boy, how you got
I'm an artist. Rock and roll is my art. I'm a nigger of the universe. And I'm free because I can leap up and scream. I can put my fist up in the air. I don't give a shit.
I met the other Go-Go's because they were also street punks in Hollywood. And everyone knew each other at the time because the local music scene was really small. And it seemed like everyone else was in a band. All the guys were in bands. The only thing left was the girls. So we kind of just thought, well, if everyone else can do it and, you know, and sound as lousy as they do, we can do it too. The Shangri-Las were a group that the Go-Go's were always getting compared to, and we would deny it up and down, right and left. No way, we're nothing like the Shangri-Las, but secretly I think we sort of emulated them, especially in the beginning. And also, I think that whole sense of the Shangri-Las being kind of bad girls appealed to us, too. I think the Go-Go's were helped by Blondie. I don't think we would have had as much success, or it would have been even harder than it was had it not been for Debbie Harry coming before us.
I'm not the kind of girl who gives up just like that. Oh no, it's not the things you do that tease and hurt me bad, but it's the way you do the things you do to me. I'm not the kind of girl who gives up just like that. Oh no, the tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one,
I do feel like the Go-Go's opened the door for a lot of the music you're hearing now. I know a lot of new female bands were helped by the Go-Go's.
We didn't make a conscious decision to have all women in the band all along the line, because we've all worked with men before in different bands and different projects and things. I think when it came down to let's get this happening, it
was a subconscious kind of biological kind of
maybe
Yeah,
attraction.
I mean, we were conscious of the fact that there is
we
a
were
chemistry.
Women. We knew that.
We knew that, we knew that there was a sort of a chemistry that happens when you have 4 people from the same gender.
Of you, what hijacked my world at night, to a place in the past we've been cast out of. Now we're back in the fight, we're back on the train. Back on the chain gang. Circumstance beyond our control. The phone, TV, and the news of the world got in the house like a pigeon from hell. Through sand in our eyes and descended like flies. Put us back on the train.
I mean, every year I say I'm not going to tour anymore, that it's just too hard, and every year I do another tour. So I mean, it's not exactly, I don't know how to type or anything like that. So it's not exactly like I could get another job.
People try to rate me, always think I'm crazy, make me burn the candle right down. Baby, I can't stay. Don't need your choosing my brown.
It strikes me as a very violent existence sometimes, to be kind of lurching from point to point around the globe. They put us in these funny little shiny metal tubes, and we're just hurled into space, and then you land in some other place and they're speaking a different language, and everybody has a different color scheme on their face. And
Well, this low down bitch got my profile itching. Can't you see the deuces they rise? Baby, can't escape. You got to run, hold me, call me the tumbling
only crazy people like touring. I saw this interview of Mick Jagger the other day in the paper, and where he describes life on the road as an unhealthy and polluted place, you know, and that it's exactly what it is. In reality, I understand why people turn into drug addicts when they're on the road, because reality is just too painful, you know. It really is, and especially for women, it's much harder for a girl on the road.
I can't imagine going out with somebody that I just met on the road, because, you know, but I know that guys do it. I've actually witnessed it, as a matter of fact. They always say men play at love for sex and women play at sex for love, you know, and I just have never been into one-night stands.
I was so young when I came on the road, and we first started singing. The Pips have protected me. These guys have been mother, father, friend, you know, everything to me over the years. They've taught me so much of what I know as far as life goes.
Go on now, go, walk out the door.
to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh.
Sometimes on tour, you know, you get that horrible feeling Janis Joplin always talked about. 1 minute, like 20,000 people just think you're so great and they're worshiping you, and the next minute you're walking down the street on your way to your hotel by yourself. You don't have anybody to talk to and all that.
I was really sick. Every day it's the same sort of thing, day in, day out. I've done about 3 interviews today. It's just too much work, you know. It's like somebody's got the whole schedule mixed up and we're just doing far too much, and you have about 3 hours sleep. And then they just expect you to do all this work and keep going and keep smiling.
Rock and roll has always been such a male thing that in a way when you take on this aggressive sort of stance on stage, a lot of times it can become almost masculine. I think when you're performing like that, it sort of brings out an animalistic quality that isn't necessarily male or female. I think it's just very raw and very, very gut level. Maybe a woman is expected to act a certain way, you know, and perhaps bounding around on a stage and slinging a guitar is very unladylike.
Show me the meaning of the word, 'cause I've heard so much about it. I don't wanna live without it. I don't wanna live without it.
If I hear one more guy say you're good for a girl, I'm gonna, you know, it's a whole lack of respect that just is based on the fact that there haven't been that many women that are playing, you know, instruments. And guys, you know, women musicians tended to be lumped in one all-girl band, either topless or otherwise, you know, and it was just a gimmick.
The first time I ever went to have percussion lessons from this guy, it was a few years ago. It was a friend of Joe's, and he didn't actually know I was a woman, so I just turned up at the door with his congas, and he just took one look at me and said, "Forget it, honey, there's no hard woman musicians, hard woman drummers in the world."
lot is expected from a woman. I think she's expected to be so many things. The mother, the wife, the girlfriend, the sweetheart. All of these things, do them all well. And then if you take on an additional career, all of these things must still go on. You have to almost be superwoman.
It's hard, as it is for a woman who works in an office, or a woman that's a nurse, or a woman that's anything that works outside the home. It's hard.
It's hard to be a mother and to work full-time too, but it's not any more difficult for me than it is for a woman that works in an office, I don't think. It's just difficult to balance. It's a process. It never gets resolved. It's a tightrope you walk every day.
I have to say, actually, the first time I made a video, I wasn't that happy because they had pulled me out of the, I was in the middle of doing a tour and I was exhausted and not really, the last thing I wanted to do was stand up there and jump around for a couple of hours, you know. And it was right during the time when a lot of talk was happening about the sex symbol image and stuff. It was way in the beginning when all that stuff, and it was really already starting to irritate me a lot. And the director of the first video that I did told me that I should stand there and shake my butt. He wanted me to look hot, and one of the reasons You Better Run probably came off as good as it did is because I was so angry the whole time. So that's probably why the attitude is so good on it.
You go around telling lies and now you want to compromise. What you trying to do to my heart? You better run, you better hide, you better leave from my side, yeah. What you trying to do to my soul? What you trying to do to my soul? Well, everything I had is yours, and now I'm closing all the doors. What you trying to do to my soul? You better run, you better hide, you better leave from my side, yeah.
Russell Mulcahy did my first 5 videos, and it was great. We would all get together and sit around a table at night and throw a million concepts around until one felt right. That's definitely the ideal way to do it. It's so insane for an artist, and especially a songwriter, to spend all this time writing the songs. They're your babies. Recording the album for months, and then to take this record and hand it over to a stranger who then comes back and says, this is what your song means and this is what you're gonna do.
Won't have to think twice. She's pure as New York snow. She got Betty Davis eyes.
If you look at the female artists, there really aren't very many that produce, that write their own songs even. I mean, it's pretty rare because it's made real difficult. There's a long way to go.
And she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. She got Greta Garbo, stand offside. She's got Betty Davis eyes.
There were no female producers. There were really difficult times. It's all changed now. I mean, women have come such a long way in the record business.
What's her appetite? She'll lay you on the throne. She got Betty Davis eyes. She'll take a tumble on you, roll you like you were dice until you come out blue. She's got Betty Davis eyes.
Getting a Grammy for Betty Davis Eyes was probably one of the greatest and most wonderful things. I don't know how many women have received Grammys for Song of the Year.
Nick, he is really sharp. Once I was in a closet with him and David Bowie, and it was at Elton John's party. It was quite a few years ago, and we put ourselves in this closet for about 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. When we came out, everybody wanted to know what we had talked about. Well, ticket prices, lighting people, booking. You know, it was just business. It was really just a business conversation. I was more staggered than anybody because I kept my mouth shut the whole time and just let the big boys talk. And that was a real eye-opener. After that, I said, well, what will the trucks, how much will the trucks take? And are you sure this is the proper routing? And what ticket price do you think, you know? He taught me a lot.
To maintain a sustained success in the pop business must be the hardest thing to do.
You've been around for such a long time now, or maybe I could leave you, but I don't know how. And why should I be lonely every night when I can be with you? Oh yes, you make it right and I don't. Listen to the guys who say that you're bad for me and I should turn you away, 'cause they don't know about us and they've never heard of love.
There's nothing like that feeling on a Tuesday morning when the phone rings and the record company goes, "You've gone up to number 2," and you go, "Oh!" and it's wonderful. And then there's nothing worse than that feeling when the phone doesn't ring on a Tuesday morning because you've gone down in the charts. So it's difficult.
Mind if they don't understand when I look at you and you hold my hand, 'cause they don't know about us and they've never heard of love.
It's difficult in any area of show business being a woman. I mean, I talked earlier about wearing outrageous costumes and things. I mean, I see some of these, the rock videos that I watch at the moment. For some reason, everyone's into women in cami knickers in silk sheets.
Like a virgin, hey, touch for the very first time. Like a virgin, with your heartbeat next to mine.
I think fans like to look like the people they love. And if Madonna would change her complete style and go to wearing her hair slicked back tight and looking, you know, glamorous, her fans would look like that.
Let me warn any of you prospective kids, you know, you're watching me now from all over the world, possibly, and you're thinking you want to go into the rock business. Well, beware of people called Howard. Now, Howard is the type that first approaches you with a record deal. He wears red-rimmed glasses. You'll be able to recognize him. And he smoked Gauloise cigarettes. And he says things like, "We could really get some intense vibes going."
Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some
managers, I don't know. Do you need to bother with a manager? I mean, they're a bit like Howard. They're usually called Tim managers, or they're called, I don't know, Wayne or Scott, or they terrify you managers, you know, and they always want you to wear miniskirts for press shots. So be careful of managers too.
Now, Christine, in the true Legrand tradition, and unlike any other rock video, our rock video is going to be full of symbolism and smoke. Christine, Morty Legrand, the best in the business, and my nephew.
Hi, Morty.
The video opens with the guitar player high atop this tower. As he solos, his guitar bursts into flame. Then, at a signal from me, the love dancers make a sensational entrance, handpicked by myself for their sexuality and their dancing ability. And then, for the Legrand finale, the alien spaceship lands atop your piano.
Mr. Legrand, that sounds wonderful, but don't you think that...
Christine, trust me.
The learning and the growing and the things that you should know about the business comes from my mother. Having your mom being so successful in the business, it's like in my blood. But I would like to think that what I have, what's been God-given to me, would have gotten me into it, you know, anyway. It's something that you have to do on your own, you know? You have to establish your own abilities.
It seems to me that I'd rather fight a lot now so that my daughters, my friends' daughters, won't have to fight so hard next time.
It's much easier now. You can have whatever image that, you know, you want. You can dress your hair, you can really make it very clear-cut for someone to read exactly what you want.
It's going to take the determination and the proof of work and just an acceptance of our equality for it to happen. And it is happening now.